What dude?
Cipher has an old guy in his house in a giant hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, like really fucking old with burn scars all over his body.
You think that's Thomas fucking Godolkin?
The mystery surrounding Dean Cipher's house in genv has had fans theorizing for weeks, but after episode 6 of season 2, that mystery has exploded into something much, much bigger. Since the moment Kate and Jordan broke into the locked back room and discovered that badly burned figure lying in a hyperbaric chamber, we've all been asking the same question. Who is that person? Is this some random Supes Cipher is experimenting on? Or could that charred figure be someone far more important to the story? Someone whose very existence could change the power dynamics of Gen V and the boys' universe forever? Let's get into the clues, theories, and shocking possibilities behind this mysterious body. Because if the latest episode's hints are anything to go by, that burned person may not just be connected to Cipher, they might be the key to finally ending Homelander once and for all. When Kate and Jordan first stumbled upon the chamber, the scene was eerie. Cipher had clearly been keeping this figure alive, hooked up to machines, breathing through tubes, completely immobilized. At first glance, fans thought it might be an early experiment, a test subject connected to Cipher's mind control abilities. After all, Cipher doesn't actually have Compound V in his bloodstream, as confirmed earlier in the season. So if his powers aren't V-based, maybe they come from an external source. Or worse, from someone else's body. But as new clues unfold, that theory starts to evolve. What if that body isn't giving Cipher his power? What if it's the origin of everything? In episode 6, titled Cooking Lessons, we finally get some major revelations that start connecting the dots. After escaping Elmira, Marie and her group run into Zoe. Yes, the same Zoe who saved them in one of the show's most gruesome scenes, using her mouse snakes to gouge out the Viking's eyes and decapitate him. But Zoe isn't alone. She's with her grandfather, none other than Stan Edgar, played once again by the legendary Giancarlo Esposito. Now, anytime Stan Edgar appears, you know something big is about to drop. His calm, calculated presence immediately shifts the tone. He offers Marie a safe place to regroup, deep underground in his hidden bunker, a location fortified 90 feet beneath the surface, beyond the reach of any Supe intrusion. Inside this bunker, the group begins piecing together Cipher's past, and with Edgar's guidance, they start to realize that the mysterious burned figure might not just be a victim of Cipher's cruelty, it might be someone from Project Odessa. And that's where things get interesting. If you remember from earlier episodes, Project Odessa was a top-secret experiment led by Thomas Godolkin. Yes, the same man behind Godolkin University, designed to create God-tier Supes. But while Godolkin wanted to make beings that could be controlled and contained, Cipher had much darker ambitions. He wanted Supe supremacy, a world where Supes ruled over humans completely. Here's where the twist hits. After Project Odessa blew up, literally, the world thought every participant died, except for Marie, who miraculously survived. But according to Edgar, that's not the full story. The project's biggest creation also survived, Homelander. That's right, the infamous Homelander from The Boys is confirmed to be a product of Project Odessa. That revelation alone is earth-shattering, connecting the two shows more directly than ever before. Marie and Homelander, they're effectively two sides of the same coin, both born from the same experiment, both children of a twisted dream to create the perfect Supe. But while Homelander was shaped by manipulation, ego, and violence, Marie's path has been one of empathy and rebellion. Jordan even jokes that they're cousins,
That he could help beat Homelander.
Cousin? Homelander?
which might not be that far off genetically. But this raises an even darker question. If Godolkin and his project created Homelander, what happened to Godolkin himself? That's where the burned body comes in. Rewatch the opening flashback of Gen V Season 2 carefully. We see Ethan Slater as Thomas Godolkin, frantically rushing into his lab, begging his staff to stop injecting themselves with an experimental version of Compound V. He screams, but it's too late. Chaos erupts. People's bodies implode, others vomit blood, and the lab explodes. Godolkin is thrown across the room, left bloodied and unconscious. But here's the thing. He's never confirmed dead. He doesn't take the Compound V himself. That charred figure in the chamber could be Thomas Godolkin himself, kept alive, tortured, and used by Cipher to continue his work for decades. Cipher may have seen Godolkin as both a trophy and a tool. The man who created Supes, now forced to perfect them in secret. Think about it. Cipher has remained mysteriously young despite the decades passing. He's mastered mind control despite lacking Compound V. He's obsessed with continuing Project Odessa. All of this could point to one thing. Cipher is drawing power, knowledge, and maybe even biological support from Godolkin himself. Even Stan Edgar suspects this, hinting that Cipher might be keeping Godolkin alive out of ego or necessity. If true, it changes everything. It means Cipher isn't just a manipulative soup. He's the living extension of Godolkin's failed dream, of Frankenstein's monster sustained by his creator. And if that's the case, then Godolkin is the one person who holds the secret to stopping both Cipher and Homelander. If Godolkin truly understands how to control and subdue Supes, which was his goal all along, then he could be the key to neutralizing Homelander once and for all. The only problem? He's trapped, burned, and possibly unable to speak. That's where Marie and Kate come in. We know Marie has recently shown the power to bring people back from the brink of death, as she did with her sister Annabeth. If she can restore life, even partially, she might be able to heal Godolkin enough to extract the information they need. Alternatively, if she helps Kate regain her full powers, Kate could directly tap into Godolkin's mind and learn the truth by touch, seeing everything Cipher has done through his memories. But, of course, Cipher isn't stupid. He's proven that he can control people's minds and actions even remotely, which means the closer the kids get to Godolkin, the more danger they're in. He can manipulate them, turn them against each other, or destroy the facility before they ever reach him. However, if anyone can counter Cipher's control, it's the original mind behind Supe creation, Thomas Godolkin himself. And this is where the chessboard of the series becomes fascinating. Every character suddenly has a role to play. Harper could mimic Cipher's powers for 60 seconds to disrupt his control. Starlight could use her electricity manipulation to short out any devices sustaining Cipher's link. Polarity could disable metallic implants or restraints. And Maverick could turn invisible to scout and locate Godolkin's exact chamber. But one person threatens all of it, Sister Sage. Now, Sister Sage is one of Cipher's most dangerous allies, not because of her strength, but because of her intelligence. She's the smartest person alive, and that makes her nearly impossible to predict. She knows about the body in Cipher's house. She's even been there. In one deeply unsettling scene, she and Cipher share a disturbing, intimate encounter right in front of the chamber, forcing the burned figure, likely Godolkin, to watch. If she knows who he is, then she knows how valuable he is, and that means she might be orchestrating this entire situation from behind the scenes. Stan Edgar's reappearance might not be a coincidence. Sister Sage could have intentionally leaked information to draw him, and by extension, Marie, into the same orbit as Cipher's secret. Maybe she wants them to find Godolkin, for reasons only she understands. She tells Cipher not to worry about Homelander, saying they're close to getting everything they want. What if everything includes reawakening Godolkin to create a new generation of Supes, ones even stronger and more obedient than before? Maybe Cipher thinks he's in control, but Sage is actually the one playing him. That brings us to the larger implications for the genv universe and the boys. If Godolkin is alive and returns, he's not just a scientific relic. He's the original architect of Homelander's power, the very person who made him what he is. And that makes him Homelander's worst nightmare. Imagine Homelander facing the man who created him, a burned, broken genius who holds the formula for his destruction. It's poetic. The ultimate creation coming face to face with its creator. And if Marie, Kate, and the others can unlock Godolkin's mind, they may find a way to level the playing field in The Boys' final season. It's possible that Godolkin could reveal a method to suppress or neutralize Compound V, effectively making Supes powerless. If so, the entire balance of power between humans and Supes could shift overnight. Of course, Cipher wouldn't let that happen. His goal has always been Supe dominance, complete and absolute. If he senses the threat of Godolkin's freedom, he'll burn the world before letting that knowledge out. So the final act of genv Season 2 might come down to one impossible mission. Rescue Godolkin from Cipher's control before Cipher unleashes his ultimate weapon, possibly himself. Because if Cipher can merge Godolkin's science with his mind control abilities, he could create a generation of Supes completely enslaved to his will, including Homelander. Imagine the terror of that reality. Homelander, already the most powerful being on Earth, under the command of someone even more deranged. That's why this burned figure isn't just a background detail, It's the beating heart of the story. The truth about the body in Cipher's house could redefine the boys' universe forever. And as the show inches closer to its explosive crossover with The Boys Season 5, it's becoming clearer that genv isn't just a spinoff. It's the foundation for how this entire saga ends. So who is the body in Cipher's house? All signs point to Thomas Godolkin, the father of Supes, the architect of both Homelander and Marie, and the last hope of humanity's survival. If that's true, then Cipher has been sitting on a literal god this whole time. And the second that God wakes up, everything changes.